Today, we're diving into the USA 1-cent penny, a coin you see every day, but did you know some of them are worth thousands of dollars? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more rare coin discoveries from BBC Rare Coins. Let's get started. Top 1. Welcome back to BBC Rare Coins, where we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins that could be hiding in your collection. Today, we're talking about the 1965 USA 1-cent penny, a coin that might just be worth a staggering $38,000. That's right, a single penny from 1965 has sold for that much at auction. But why? What makes this particular coin so special? And how can you tell if you have one? Stick around because we're breaking it all down in detail, the history of the 1965 penny. Before we jump into the rarity and value, let's take a quick look at the history of the 1965 penny. In the mid-1960s, the US Mint was dealing with a national coin shortage. To combat this, they made several changes. They stopped using mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967 to prevent collectors from hoarding them. They experimented with different metal compositions due to rising costs and material shortages. They produced a massive number of coins, with over 1.4 billion pennies struck in 1965 alone. With such a high mintage, you might think that 1965 pennies are common, and for the most part, they are. But certain rare errors and high-grade specimens can be worth a fortune. What makes a 1965 penny worth $38,000? Not every 1965 penny is valuable, but there are specific factors that can make one extremely rare and desirable to collectors. 1. Minting errors. Some 1965 pennies were mistakenly struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. These errors are known as wrong planchet errors and can be worth thousands. 2. Double die varieties. Some pennies from 1965 have a double die error, where the design appears slightly doubled. If you find this, your coin could be very valuable. 3. Full red color and high-grade coins that have retained their original red luster and are in mint state, MS 67 or higher, can sell for premium prices. The $38,000 penny. What you need to look for. One particular 1965 penny that sold for $38,000 had a rare mint error. Here's what you should check for when examining your 1965 pennies. Weight. A normal 1965 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, it could be a rare error. Material. Some 1965 pennies were accidentally struck on silver or foreign planchets instead of copper. If your coin has a silvery appearance, you should have it tested. Double die error. Look at the date, letters, and Lincoln's face under a magnifying glass. If the details appear doubled, you may have a valuable coin. Mint condition. The higher the grade, the higher the price. Coins in MS 65, MS 66, or MS 67 condition sell for much more than lower grade ones. How much are other 1965 pennies worth? Regular circulated 1965 pennies are only worth 1 to 5 cents. Uncirculated, MS 63 or better, red pennies can be worth $10 to $50. Rare error coins or high MS 67 plus grades can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. How to check if you have a valuable 1965 penny? If you have a 1965 penny, here's how to check if it's worth money. 1. Use a digital scale. Weigh your penny to see if it's a wrong planchet error. 2. Inspect the details. Look for doubling in the letters and numbers. 3. Check for unusual colors. If your penny looks silver, it may be a special error coin. 4. Send it for grading. If you think your coin is rare, have it authenticated by PCGS or NGC. Top 2. We're diving into the 1980 USA 1-cent penny, a coin that may seem common but could be worth an unbelievable $44,000. That's right, certain 1980 pennies have sold for thousands at auction. But what makes them so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? Let's find out. The history of the 1980 penny. The 1980 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. By 1980, the US Mint was still producing pennies made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, weighing 3.11 grams. Over 12 billion pennies were minted in 1980, making this a very common coin. However, certain rare varieties, errors, and high-grade specimens are worth serious money. What makes a 1980 penny valuable? Not all 1980 pennies are worth big bucks, but a few key factors can increase their value significantly. 1. Rare minting errors. Some of the rarest 1980 pennies have mint errors, such as off-center strikes. If the design is noticeably off-center, the coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Double die obverse, DDO, a double stamp date or lettering can dramatically increase a penny's value. Wrong planchet errors. Some 1980 pennies were mistakenly struck on a foreign or transitional metal, making them rare collector's items. Point 2. High-grade condition, MS67 or higher. A 1980 penny that has been well preserved with no scratches, stains, or wear can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC assign a mint state MS grade, and the highest graded examples command the biggest prices. Point 3. Red color versus brown or red-brown. Coin collectors prefer pennies with a full bright red luster, as they are rarer than brown or red-brown coins. A fully red, high-grade 1980 penny is worth significantly more. How to identify a rare 1980 penny? If you have a 1980 penny, here's how to check if it's valuable. Check for doubling. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the date and letters for a double image. Weigh the coin. A regular 1980 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's significantly different, it may be a wrong planchet error. Look for an off-center strike. If the design is misaligned, it's a minting error that could be valuable. Assess its condition. The fewer scratches and blemishes, the higher its grade and value. How much are 1980 pennies worth? Circulated 1980 pennies are worth 1 to 5 cents. Uncirculated MS63 to MS65 pennies can sell for $5 to $50. MS67 or higher graded red pennies can be worth $1,000 or more. Rare mint error pennies can fetch several $1,000s. The $44,000 penny. What makes it special? A rare 1980 penny with a minting error and high grade recently sold at auction for an astonishing $44,000. Collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for error coins and high grade specimens, making it essential to check your spare change. Top 3. We're diving into the 1993 USA 1 center penny, a coin that might look ordinary but could be worth an astonishing $51,000. That's right, some rare 1993 pennies have sold for tens of thousands at auction. But what makes them so valuable? And how can you tell if you have one? Stick around as we break it all down. The history of the 1993 penny. The 1993 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which was minted from 1959 to 2008. By this time, pennies were no longer made of copper. Instead, since 1982, the US Mint had switched to a zinc core with a thin copper coating, making them weigh 2.5 grams instead of the older 3.11 grams. Despite the massive mintage of over 13 billion pennies in 1993, some rare errors and high-grade examples have made certain coins highly valuable. What makes a 1993 penny worth big money? Not every 1993 penny is valuable, but some rare features can increase its worth significantly. 1. Rare minting errors. The US Mint produces billions of pennies, and mistakes happen. Some of the most valuable errors in the 1993 penny include double die obverse, DDO, a rare doubling effect on the date or lettering can drastically increase a penny's value. Off-center strikes. If the design is shifted significantly, it becomes a sought-after error coin. Wrong planchet errors. Some 1993 pennies were accidentally struck on bronze planchets instead of zinc, making them extremely rare. Point 2. High-grade condition, MS67 or higher. A perfectly preserved 1993 penny can sell for thousands of dollars, especially if graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC. The better the condition, the higher the price. Point 3. Red color versus brown or red-brown collectors love pennies with a full bright red luster because they are rarer than brown or red-brown coins. A red, high-grade 1993 penny will fetch significantly more money at auctions. How to identify a rare 1993 penny? If you have a 1993 penny, here's how to check if it's valuable. Examine for doubling. Look closely at the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust for any double stamping. Weigh the coin. A normal 1993 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If it weighs 3.11 grams, it could be a rare bronze planchet error. Look for an off-center strike. If the design is misaligned, it may be a valuable minting error. Assess its condition. The fewer scratches and blemishes, the more valuable it is. How much are 1993 pennies worth? Circulated 1993 pennies are generally worth only 1 cent. Uncirculated MS 63 to MS 65 red pennies can sell for $5 to $50. MS 67 or higher red pennies have sold for $1,000 or more. Rare error coins can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. The $51,000 penny. What makes it so valuable? A rare 1993 penny with a minting error and high grade recently sold for an incredible $51,000 at auction. Collectors and investors are always searching for these rare coins, making it crucial to check your spare change. You might be holding a fortune without realizing it. Top 4. We're talking about the 1979 USA 1 center penny, a coin that might look ordinary but could actually be worth a staggering $49,000. Yes, you heard that right. A rare 1979 penny sold for $49,000 at auction, and if you have one like it, you could be sitting on a fortune. But what makes certain 1979 pennies so valuable? And how can you tell if you have one? Let's find out. The history of the 1979 penny. The 1979 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Series, which was minted from 1959 to 2008. By this time, pennies were still made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, weighing 3.11 grams. Over 13 billion pennies were minted in 1979, so most are common and worth only face value. However, some rare errors and high-grade examples are worth thousands of dollars. What makes a 1979 penny valuable? Not all 1979 pennies are worth big money, but certain key factors can make them extremely valuable. 1. Rare minting errors. The US Mint struck billions of coins, and mistakes happened. Here are some rare errors to look for. Double die obverse, DDO. Some 1979 pennies have noticeable doubling on the date or lettering, making them rare collector's items. Off-center strikes. If the design is significantly off-center, the coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Wrong planchet errors. Some 1979 pennies were mistakenly struck on different metal planchets, including foreign coins or transitional compositions. These are extremely valuable. 2. High-grade condition, MS 67 or higher. A perfectly preserved 1979 penny can fetch thousands of dollars. The highest graded examples, MS 67 or higher, are extremely rare and valuable. 3. Red versus red-brown pennies. Collectors prefer pennies that have retained their original red color because they are much rarer than brown or red-brown coins. A fully red, high-grade 1979 penny can be worth significantly more. How to identify a rare 1979 penny? If you have a 1979 penny, here's what to check for. Look for doubling. Use a magnifying glass to check the date and lettering for a double image. Weigh the coin. A standard 1979 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours weighs significantly more or less, it may be a rare wrong planchet error. Check for an off-center strike. If the design is misaligned, it could be a valuable minting mistake. Examine its condition. The fewer scratches and blemishes, the more valuable it is. How much are 1979 pennies worth? Circulated 1979 pennies are generally worth 1 to 5 cents. Uncirculated MS 63 to MS 65 red pennies can sell for $5 to $50. MS 67 or higher red pennies can be worth $1,000 or more. Rare mint era pennies can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. The $49,000 penny. What makes it special? A rare 1979 penny with a minting error and high grade recently sold for an incredible $49,000 at auction. This was a combination of a rare error, full red color, and a top-tier grade, making it highly desirable to collectors. Top 5. We're diving into the 1992 USA 1 center penny, a coin that might look ordinary but could be worth a staggering $63,000. That's right, one rare 1992 penny sold for an incredible $63,000 at auction. But what makes some 1992 pennies so valuable? And how can you tell if you have one? Let's break it all down. The history of the 1992 penny. The 1992 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Series, which was minted from 1959 to 2008. Unlike earlier copper pennies, by 1992, pennies were made of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating, weighing 2.5 grams, while over 9.7 billion pennies were minted in 1992. Certain rare varieties and errors have made some of them incredibly valuable. What makes a 1992 penny worth big money? Not every 1992 penny is worth a fortune, but some rare features can increase its value significantly. A 1. The rare close AM variety. The most famous and valuable 1992 penny error is the close AM variety. Here's what that means. On most 1992 pennies, the letters A and M in America on the reverse back of the coin are spaced apart. On rare close AM pennies, the A and M are almost touching, similar to the 1993 design. This was an accidental transition, and only a few were minted, making them extremely rare and valuable. Point 2. Double die error. Some 1992 pennies have a double die obverse, DDO, meaning the design was struck twice, causing slight doubling on the date or lettering. These errors are rare and can significantly increase a penny's value. Point 3. High-grade condition, MS67 or higher, a perfectly preserved 1992 penny can fetch thousands of dollars. The highest graded examples, MS67 or higher, are extremely rare and valuable. Point 4. Red versus brown versus red. Brown pennies. Collectors prefer fully red pennies because they have retained their original luster. A fully red, high-grade 1992 penny will fetch significantly more than a brown or red-brown penny. How to identify a rare 1992 penny? If you have a 1992 penny, here's what to check for. Look at the AM in America. If the A and M are touching, you may have the rare close AM variety. Examine for doubling. Use a magnifying glass to check the date and lettering for a double image. Weigh the coin. A standard 1992 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours weighs significantly more, it may be a rare wrong planchet error. Check for an off-center strike. If the design is misaligned, it could be a valuable minting mistake. Assess its condition. The fewer scratches and blemishes, the more valuable it is. How much are 1992 pennies worth? Regular circulated 1992 pennies are only worth 1 cent. Uncirculated MS-63 to MS-65 red pennies can sell for $5 to $50. MS-67 or higher red pennies have sold for $1,000 or more. Rare close AM pennies can fetch $5,000 to $25,000 depending on condition. The $63,000 penny. What makes it special? A 1992 close AM penny in perfect condition recently sold for a record-breaking $63,000 at auction. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for these rare coins, so it's worth checking your 1992 pennies carefully. Final thoughts. Could you have a $63,000 penny? Most 1992 pennies are common, but if you find one with a close AM error, a double die variety, or in perfect condition, it could be worth $63,000 or more. Before you spend that 1992 penny, take a closer look. You might be holding a rare treasure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more rare coin discoveries from BBC Rare Coins. And let us know in the comments, do you have a 1992 penny in your collection? Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting.